Welcome to Monday Jazz and Conversation, presented by a collaboration of 4 nonprofit organizations: Gold Coast Jazz Society, South Florida Jazz, Sunshine Jazz Organization, and the Miami Jazz Cooperative, all of whom are dedicated to bringing jazz to South Florida audiences. Each Monday, Wendy Peterson and Nick Yorta feature the music and talk to the country's most talented and interesting jazz musicians.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome John Fedchuk to the hang.
Hi, everybody. Great to be here.
The amazing and beautiful and the world's best person, Brenda Alford.
Hi, Brenda.
Live up to that.
Okay, I got some living to do.
Please welcome to Jazz and Conversation the amazing Joe Donato. Joey D.
Hello.
How are you? I'm so
Good evening,
sad
ladies and
that
gentlemen.
we gave
This
you
is Ralph
stress.
Edwards, and tonight, it's Joe Donato. This is your life.
And now, the hosts of Monday Jazz and Conversation, Wendy Peterson and Nick Yorta.
Hello, everyone.
Happy 2021.
Happy 2021.
It is the first Monday of the year, the new year, which is it feels good.
It does?
It feels good to be out of the
craziness.
You know, it's still pretty much the same, but it just feels different. Anyway, welcome, and we're so glad you're here. Happy New Year. Happy, healthy, huggy is what I like to say. We're hoping it's going to be a big huggy year when the time comes, and we're all looking forward to that. We have a really fun show tonight because it's one of our favorite friends of the Miami Jazz Cooperative and the South Florida jazz community. And he's just been such a great support during this whole time. Anytime we wanted some kind of cool reimagining of a song or something, he always,
he delivers.
Yeah, Oh, I like that.
thank
It's
you.
like the takeout queen needs some delivery, some good delivery. Now I know who to call. Tom Lippincott. Anyway, we're actually here to talk about his brand new CD, and we're so happy that new music is coming out. And so he has a brand new CD out called 20 Years Later. I'm kind of curious about what the title of that CD means. So we have lots of questions to ask him. Listen, we see all your comments. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask away, because we can ask. And we'll also meet with some of the band members and talk about their whole recording process, and hopefully learn something new about Mr. Lippincott. But first, we're going to start with a tune from the CD. Oh gosh,
Called Semolina Pilchard. And he'll explain
Semolina
that.
Pilchard, and then we'll figure out a place for my dog so he won't ruin our setup. Okay, here's the video.
Wow. Very, very cool.
We missed the credits, so we need to ask about. That's the first thing we keep getting all these comments about.
Yeah, exactly.
About the video being so cool. So, well, let's bring him right on. The amazing guitarist, composer, band leader,
Maybe producer.
slash video editing guy, Tom Lippincott. Welcome.
Hey,
Hello.
Tom.
Happy
there.
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Hey, Nikki and Wendy.
Good to see
Hey,
you.
Internet.
Yeah, so we have so many questions. So everybody wants to know who did the video. It is so cool.
Well, I'm very relieved because I was worried it was going to come off as cheesy or something.
No, it's so nice.
Well, it's cheesy in the best way. No, it was fantastic.
Only in a good way.
Yeah.
No, I full disclosure, I mean, I didn't really have any way of getting the band together and having us record anything, in real time. And I just thought, what if I made a video? I made a video of myself, playing the tune. And then I actually stole some footage of Dave and Rodolfo and Eric from some other stuff. So they're not even actually
Are they
playing
suing
those.
you?
Yeah, they are right now, actually.
It's in
I
litigation.
just got served notice, yeah. No, but so, I just kind of stole footage of those guys from other stuff. And I was hoping that the, cool filter that
Would
makes
hide.
it look like a drawing will sort of disguise the fact that they're not actually playing the same song I am.
So it really was
God.
just a filter and throughout the whole
Yeah,
thing?
there's something that came with the iPhone a couple of years ago that could make it look, when you put the camera on yourself, it made it look like it was a drawing, but it had like this background that was kind of corny. But I thought, oh, that's really cool. I wish, I could find something that you could actually make the whole video look that way. And of course, all you have to do is look on the internet and inevitably
Right.
you're going to find something. So I found this app that will do that.
So everybody
But-
can be a producer. That's
That's
the
right.
beauty.
But the bigger picture there is that they're not playing the same song.
They're not playing the same song.
At all.
And so Philip was asking about, were these guys ever in the same room studio when they recorded this? So you can answer that.
Yeah, I guess that's the most remarkable feature of this whole album is that no, none of us were actually in the same room at the same time at any point during the recording
Wow.
of this music. We recorded it completely remotely. And I mean, the pandemic is a pretty awful thing. And a lot of
Right.
people are going through some horrible stuff. But I have to say, at least in some ways, some really good things came of it for me.
Right.
And this was one of those things because up until this point, I never, ever would have even considered doing a jazz recording separately, the way
Remotely,
they
yeah.
do a pop record where you do the drums first and send that to the bass player across in the other part of the country, whatever. But it's just kind of out of necessity. I pretty much owe this whole project to Dave Fernandez because what happened was at the beginning of the pandemic, he started sending audio files around to me and to Rodolfo Zuniga and Eric England and Derek Fairholm, a great keyboard player that
Yeah.
all of us play with a good amount. And he just said, we're all going crazy and none of us have any gigs. Do you want to just record some of my tunes just for fun? And so I was like, yeah, I'm in, I'll do it. I need something to do to keep my sanity.
Right.
And the results kept turning out so good that Dave finally decided to release everything as an album. And, he was on here a couple of months ago for that kind of album release with his album Land. And basically what happened is we were recording all this stuff, and I kind of sheepishly said, well, while we've got some momentum going, would you guys be into maybe doing some of my tunes too? And I asked Dave and Rodolfo right away, because I've played a lot with those guys and I've played on their project and so forth.
Right.
And of course, they're both like, yeah, of course. They'd already played all these tunes before. And so we just kind of kept that momentum going and recorded the tunes. And I was actually kind of hesitant to ask Eric because I know Eric
I heard
pretty
he's
well.
really hard to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, you know that guy.
A bass player.
I was both bass
Say
players.
no more, right? No, I know Eric pretty well. We've known each other a long time, but I don't know him quite as well as I know Rodolfo and Dave. And I didn't feel super comfortable just saying, hey, want to play on my project?
Did he give you the whole, let me check my calendar?
No, in typical Eric England style, after me hemming and hawing, should I ask him? I don't even know. Maybe it's insulting for me to even ask him to do it. And I sent him an email. He's like, sends me back like a 3-word email. Sure, I'll do it.
Lovely. Nice. So did you have this material written already, or?
Yeah, these are all tunes that I have written over the last probably 10 years.
Hence what the title of the, is your math bad, or did you just
my math
this title
is bad,
better?
But that's not the reason why it's called 20 Years Later, just my bad math. My last album and only album that I've ever done before was done in 2000. And so, I've had several friends over the years say, hey man, when are you going to do another album? And I guess, I think most musicians are very self-critical.
Yeah.
And I think I can sometimes take that to a ridiculous degree. I probably did 5 or 6 different recording sessions within the last 20 years that were originally the idea was going to be a record. And I just for one reason or another, I didn't like my playing, or I didn't like the sound that I got, or whatever. It was usually me, it wasn't like, oh, I thought the other players weren't up to snuff or whatever. It was always just my own stuff. Or I didn't like the tunes that, I thought they were cool. And then I heard back, it was like, oh, these tunes suck. I don't want whatever. So I've got all this stuff that I never recorded or never released.
Right.
And so this was just kind of like, again, going to be kind of for fun. And man, yeah, I can't believe how good it turned out. And it kind of shifted my whole way of thinking about things, because I realized, one thing is very true is Rodolfo and Dave and Eric and I have all played together a lot. These guys have all played these songs before.
Right.
So it wasn't like we were just, sending some brand new thing to some session guy.
Right.
But when
that
you
I'd
know
never
somebody,
met.
in that way, there is something to be said. Like you kind of know, they kind of know your sensibilities and how you would kind of perceive things. So it does make things easier and maybe not as necessary to be in the same room. And even though that's a great thing too, like the energy feeding off that.
Right.
Did you feel like you missed the energy, or because it was just different?
Yeah, it was just different. It wasn't even a question, because it wasn't an option anyway.
Right.
And of course, I wouldn't have been able to get Eric to play on it if we hadn't done it this way. And I don't think he felt like commuting from LA just to play on my recording project. So no, to answer your question, I didn't really miss as a matter of fact, I have to confess that playing in the recording studio has always been one of my least favorite things to do anyway. I always feel like, there's so much pressure. And
it is, yeah.
Either if it's my project, then I'm paying for the time, and I'm like, looking at my watch going, oh man, this is costing me another $80 or whatever it is. Or if I'm on somebody else's project, it's even worse, because then I feel like,
you're wasting their money.
Yeah, exactly. If I
Yeah.
screw up, then I've got to do another take, and I'm wasting their money. Or if they say, "Were you happy with your solo?" and I'm like, "Well, I know I wasn't, but yeah, sure, it was fine."
Yeah. It's the same way for me, like, taking pictures when somebody sets up like a studio, and for you to go in with the lights and the makeup, and I never feel comfortable. And so I always, like, if you ever see any of the pictures that I use for promo shots, it's always live, somebody taking a picture of me live, because that's my natural habitat. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not trying to look sexy or pretty or cute or anything. It's just, what I do. I really hate, but also the recording, I'm used to it. I love doing background vocals, but man, when that light is on, like Jim and I have a record that's half finished, because, there are a couple of songs that it's like just scary to just say, okay, this is it. We're going to do this now. Are we ready? I don't know. Yeah. It's a funny thing.
Yeah. If I'm playing on somebody's project where they just, okay, I need a guitar on this, I feel totally differently about that, because there's not as much at stake, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'm one of those people too that when somebody asks me to do something remote like this, I'll be like, use it or don't use it. It's okay. Like, I won't be offended if you don't like what I did, because there's nobody there. Like, it's, just me in a room trying to figure out what they wanted. And if it wasn't what they wanted, I'm like, okay, it's no big deal. Yeah. We are curious about what Semolina Pilchard is.
Any Beatles fans out there will probably know what that means.
Oh, great. So you just Beatles shamed us. Good. Nicely done.
Oh, no, I knew what it was.
You're just getting the audience.
Testing Nikki, right? So anyway, yeah, the Beatles tune called "I Am a Walrus," which was written by John Lennon during that kind of psychological, during that psychedelic period.
Yeah.
Maybe there was some psychological stuff going on too. I think it was like 1967, like the height of the psychedelic era. And he was really into Lewis Carroll, Alice in Wonderland at that time, who, that stuff is very surreal and just kind of these almost like random words put together.
Yeah.
So some of his songs were kind of written with that kind of style, and this was one of those. And the story, as I understand it, is there was actually a police sergeant in London named Sergeant Pilcher. And this guy was responsible. He kind of made it his mission to arrest all of the famous rock stars for drug possession, to kind of make an example out of them.
Right.
And I think he arrested John Lennon. And hey, Dave Shanzer. And anyway, so this was kind of John Lennon's tribute to him, I guess. So I don't think Semolina has anything to do with it. It's just the word happened to fit the melody,
Okay.
But Pilcher, I think the whole line is Semolina Pilchard climbing up the Eiffel Tower.
Okay.
So it's just a bunch of like kind of random imagery.
Climbing up the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now it's like it's all coming to me now.
So you did know.
I didn't know.
I feel a little ashamed.
I could pretend.
But not enough.
There actually was, originally I had a plan with this video that I was going to find images of all the stuff from the lyrics of that song and kind of interject them into the video. But I couldn't really figure out a way to do it to make it integrate to where it seemed natural to the video, especially with the drawing filter thing on. If I just cut to like some photograph of the Eiffel Tower, and it just seemed like it didn't quite fit. So I kind of, put the kibosh on that idea.
Got it. Well, we are going to be listening to more of the music of 20 years later, but we also are going to sneak in a video, and then afterwards we'll bring on your cohorts. But this is from, I believe it was Dave Fernandez's Land album, which you had mentioned earlier, and it's called Banjo Tune, and really the highlight of it is we get to hear you playing banjo, but you don't look quite the same.
Yeah, see if you can spot the what is wrong with this picture. There's something a little off about my look in this video.
Yeah, it might be the hair. We'll check it out.
Okay.
Banjo Tune.
No? Yeah. Wow. Whose idea was that?
Well, oh, you want to see the actual device?
Yeah. Oh, look at that. Sweet.
Okay.
Very sweet. No, that's
What happened on that was, I think you mentioned this before, that was a tune from Dave's Land album. I actually asked him if he would. I like what he did with the videos so much that I asked him if he would mind doing a video for this, and he was really super busy, and he said, "Man, I'd love to, but I just don't have time." And before the show, and then I remembered that this video I was pretty sure hadn't been on, and so I asked him if we could do that. So that's kind of why I wanted to put this video on here, because it's Dave's work. I can't take credit for that one.
very nice.
But he asked you to put the bear, the banjo bear.
No. He just wanted to do a video of that tune. It was actually a tune that I had written.
Yeah.
Called it Banjo Tune for mysterious reasons, and I decided to play banjo on it rather than trying to ask somebody that really played banjo. Troy Roberts. Hey, Julie Davis. Hope it's okay that I shout out to my friends.
Oh, please.
It's your show, man.
So anyway, of course, we were having to mime to it after the fact, and I had borrowed a banjo from Sandy Polterak to do the actual song, and of course I had long.
You mean you didn't play that cardboard one?
Well, I tried, but it got a little too cardboardy of a sound, so I had to borrow Sandy's. So I was like, what am I going to do? Am I just going to try play it on guitar and try to make it look like it's a banjo? And
Right.
that seemed ridiculous. So I said, as long as it's got to be ridiculous, I'm just going to make a cardboard banjo. And then as long as I'm going that far, I might as well wear a bear mask. Why not?
And the
Makes
robe.
sense to
Don't
me.
forget the robe.
And the robe, true.
Perfect sense.
Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, the tune is great too.
thanks.
It was a little Beatley. I
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
say.
Have a Beatles vibe, I thought.
Yeah, they're a huge influence. So I think everything I do probably has a little bit of Beatles influence in it.
Yeah, that's so cool. Before we get going, I want to do my little plea for some love for our musicians, because as we don't do gigs anymore, but this is a gig. This is like our like we used to do the Monday night at the open stage, and so now we're doing this to keep our musicians employed and creative and happy and healthy and everything else. So we would love to ask if you can to support our musicians, and everything that we collect tonight will go to Tom to help maybe fund his next record, or some more videos, or who knows, to buy a banjo. I don't know what he's gonna do with it, but all of the money will go directly to Tom at the end of the night. And so all you have to do is text the word tip jar, TIPJAR, in the comments section of your texting app to the number 44321. All of a sudden you will get a message back immediately with a link that takes you to a very safe way of sending money. And you can give as much as or as little as you want, but it really is a nice way to keep the music going. And in 2021, we know that things are going to get better, but we still don't know when real live gigs are going to come back in full swing. So this is our part, and the only way that we have figured out to do it. So we thank you in advance. Once again, tip jar to the number 44321. Okay.
If they can tip any amount, does that mean they can also tip a negative amount?
We've seen people try, but it has not.
Maybe I'll
not
try
worked.
that.
Well, I think it's probably a good time to bring on your fellow band members.
That sounds good to me.
Let's start with Dave Fernandez.
Oh,
Hey,
Happy New Year.
there's Dave
We
Fernandez.
got Rodolfo Zuniga.
Hey, everybody.
And we have Eric England.
Eric England, all the way from LA.
Yes, all the way in LA. Hey, thanks for joining us, gentlemen.
Glad to be here. Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes.
Yep. So anyhow, what was it like for you guys? I guess everybody's basically been home, yeah, sitting around with more time on their hands than they know what to do. and you get a call from Tom to do a CD. That sounds pretty fun.
Actually, I told him I was gonna make the tracks, and that when he finally got the push to make this.
Oh, so you're responsible. Very good.
No, it's like I think he was afraid when I told him that I was actually gonna, because he was like hesitant, and I said, well, I'm gonna do the tracks, and I'm gonna lay everything down, all the parts, and he was like, oh no, don't touch my songs.
That's when it sprung into
It was
action.
like reverse psychology, I guess. Yeah, so
I'm going to put your name on it, but I'm going to play the guitar.
Nicely done.
And he was going to write lyrics to all the tunes and sing them
Oh
too.
my gosh. Yeah.
So, are you guys all comfortable at this point with this way of recording? You know, it just sounds,
It sounds
like you were
really
saying, it sounds so cohesive and organic. You would never know.
yeah, it feels great because like you're at your own pace and you don't have to work with people. I mean, I don't mean it that way, but in a positive way. Like Eric looks like he wants to hurt me right now. You know? I think you got the sound working.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's not going through my headphones. Is that going to be a
Oh,
problem?
yeah.
that's
Yes, it is
awesome.
going to be a problem.
By the way, he mixed the album. He's our engineer.
And he mixed it
Oh.
and mastered it.
Wow,
master.
fantastic.
Very
And
cool.
played on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Eric, I guess he's figuring out the headphone
sound
thing, or are
thing.
we good?
Oh,
I'm
I hear
available.
ringing in my ear.
If they need a sax, I'm around.
That's on this end. I think
Do you know that
it's for a bass player, but not this one. I think it's for Eric.
I'm at my mom's house?
Is it somebody saying, I've called all the best bass players in town. Are you available?
I've called everyone.
I've called everyone.
That's right. Yeah, we
Hold on. Yes, I have received that call, actually.
we still have a landline at my house, so we always forget to.
Eric looks
Yeah.
like he's on the other side of the visitor's window when you visit a friend in prison. And with the audio, it's kind of like all meshing. Like
He's just working out the kink with. So, Eric, I would say go to audio and choose your headphones if that's not. Hopefully, that's an option. And so, how long did it take to record from beginning to end?
Let's see. That's a good question. What was it about? Maybe a month or 2 months, somewhere in there.
Yeah, it took a while. Like the woodwinds you sent, I remember that felt like forever on
Yeah.
that piece. Right, I played.
Yeah, actually, that's
Fernandez.
true. That was the thing that we did first, right?
Yeah.
And at that point, I don't even know if we were thinking it was going to be a whole album. I just was like, hey, let's see if this works.
Right. It's a tune he had called D Ballad, and I always thought it was for me. And then when the record's out, it says home. It had nothing to do with me. And I wrote this huge thing for him on that Land album, thinking, I gotta return the favor. He wrote such a beautiful song. My song was nowhere near as good, but it was the thought, and it was nothing to do with me.
Well, I felt guilty about that for years, Dave. But
Yeah,
the consolation is there is a song on 20 Years Later named specifically for Dave, and it's kind of my musical portrait of him, called The Fernandez Factor. So.
Right.
Right.
Well, why don't you? We don't have that one, of course, but why don't you? Let's listen to another song from that record, and why don't you choose, Tom?
Let's see. Why don't we check out? Let's do Tessellations.
You want to explain that?
Okay. It's the word just means like tiles that have a repeating pattern, basically. And I don't know, this was maybe about 10 years ago. I went to see an exhibit of MC Escher's artwork.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah, and I was totally, I've always loved his stuff, but I had never seen so much of it all at once and in the real, the actual stuff. It's so amazing to see like the real original version of an artist's work.
Right.
I'm also a huge fan of Vincent van Gogh, and with the few times I've gotten to see some of his paintings, it's just been like a life-changing experience. But anyway, so it was really inspired after I checked that out, and I wrote this tune. I mean, I don't know if it was, like I wrote it because of that or whatever, but it kind of occurred to me that it had a lot of maybe parallels to, repeating patterns and the kind of playing with space and stuff that MC Escher does. So I called it Tessellations. And actually, I found some video footage of an old documentary about his artwork, and I put that in as a big part of the video.
And have you gotten legal action served yet?
Yes, just like from these guys, MC Escher's estate has also contacted me, and I think Vincent Van Gogh's estate is contacting me right now too.
Are they're suing for proceeds from the sales of your CD?
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
speaking of that,
They're gonna get ones of dollars out of me.
So speaking of that, though, tell us where to get your CD, because it's brand new and we all should have it.
Right. Probably the easiest place to get it is my website, which is tomlippincott.com.
Okay.
And I actually just redid my website at the end of the summer, so I'm kind of proud of the website too.
Everybody go check out tomlippincott.com.
Yeah. If nothing else, just go see how pretty the website is.
And buy the record, damn it.
And I've also got it on Bandcamp, which a lot of people are selling their stuff on Bandcamp these days too.
Are these only digital copies? Or
yes. As a matter of fact, I meant to mention that was the one bone I had to pick with you guys was that it was advertised as a CD release, and that's kind of a misnomer. It's a digital album release, I guess you could call it. But yeah,
in our case, CD stands for Cool Digital.
Yeah, exactly.
Ooh,
it's a cool digital release.
Yes, there you go.
So yeah, I mean, I was a little conflicted about whether to try to do the CD thing. It seems like people just don't buy CDs anymore, not like they used to. And of course, like most musicians, I had like no money over the summer, even less than usual. So I didn't exactly have lots of extra money lying around to produce a bunch of CDs anyway.
Of course.
I haven't done it yet, but I probably will also put it up on all the streaming services eventually, like Spotify and all that stuff.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's listen to Tessellations.
nice. The videos are great.
Very, very good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I definitely had a lot of fun putting it together, and I feel like I'm also learning a new skill, kind of.
Right. That really has been the best thing about this is like figuring out new skills and learning things.
Juggling.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki's working on juggling. Yes.
It's coming together.
Cool. I learned how to juggle when I was in college. I never really did anything with it, but somebody told me it helps your hand-eye coordination, so I thought, okay,
Well, that makes sense.
it's fun.
Doesn't explain why I'm not that good at it.
It kind of does.
Oh, okey-dokey. Eric,
right.
when did you head to LA?
I've been here for about 2 years.
Okay. And was that a music move? Did you have a gig, or did you just wanted to change your environment?
I've always wanted to branch out, but not that the time is ever right, but I had a moment where I was able to do it, and I finally just jumped ship, so. But
Well, we miss you for sure.
I still miss all you guys for sure. I mean, I miss playing with you guys. It was just, just a career move. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Do you have you been able to find your niche there, kind of with playing? I mean, I know this really put a damper on things, but
I was fortunate to have a little bit of time, like about a year and a half, obviously, before this. So, I did make. I'm not out here in the desert for sure. I did make. So I'm grateful for that, because if I had come and this happened, it would have been like.
yeah.
But
That's tough.
I'm doing a little bit of everything, which is what I wanted to do anyway. So.
Good.
Yeah.
Very good. Have you been back in that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was actually just back in October down there.
Yeah, you did some stuff you do work with Nicole Henry.
Yeah, well, I was actually playing with John Cicada.
Oh, okay.
But
Gotcha.
I wasn't down there with her this year, but yeah. So that was the last time I was there.
Cool.
And Rodolfo, you were in Costa Rica, weren't you? Although I think you're muted.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. Yeah, I've been back and forth a little bit, just trying to make the most out of a little bit more freedom, I guess, to go down there and see the family. And I mean, I've been in Miami 21 years, and I never really get to go back for more than just a week. So I've kind of been back and forth the last 6 months, I guess, and I just came back from there. I'm back in Miami, but yeah, it's been nice to be able to do that a little bit.
Yeah.
How are they doing over there with COVID?
Well, they got still some problems like everywhere else, but it feels different. I mean, they have universal health care, if you will, so things are easier to organize in that regard. So you do feel like at least everybody's in the same mind frame,
Right.
which is not exactly what's going on here. But then again, it's a tiny country, and it's a lot simpler to organize, and that comes in handy with things like this, I think.
Yeah.
Of course.
Tom, I wanted to, you sent us a video that you made specifically for us. And, we didn't ask you to pick this song or anything. And I'm wondering if it is relevant because of tomorrow's election.
It's funny that you say that, because when I thought of the song, it was just very spontaneous. I was actually working on recording this instructional video that I've been making, and I used that as just like a snippet of that as an example on something I was talking about. I was like, hey, that's actually, I should record that, and I knew you guys wanted me to do something. So I just played it, and then after the fact, it occurred to me, Georgia on my mind, what could be more perfect for this time?
Yeah, tomorrow's the election, so
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting to see. Well, let's listen to it because it is it's just you, which is kind of fun too. So here is Georgia on my mind. Very nice.
Excellent.
I thought I'd do something more normal, you know.
Can we get that off? Or more normal, what does that mean?
Well, just
A standard?
Standard and
Let me tell you, I loved, when you sent us the Star Spangled Banner.
Oh, that was so amazing.
With the like rock thing.
And then it just went dark for a second.
Yeah, it was very cool.
Here, okay, we want you to explain in detail.
Philip
the
wants to
answer
know
this
how you
question.
find these chords.
Where do you find them? Where are they hidden?
At Target.
Blue light special.
Yeah. They're kind of hard to find, but you go in the housewares aisle, and you kind of have to know what you're looking for. You can find.
I just think it's your guitar because it's such a strange guitar that these chords are naturally there. I don't know if we ever talked about that in great detail on your last appearance here.
I don't know if we did
either. Talk a little
either
bit about that.
Okay.
About what?
Your guitar is tuned differently, and it's got a different set of strings.
Yeah.
And an extra one, I believe, yeah?
I just happen to have it right here.
Oh, very nice.
And we also have a comment that says, "Hey Tom, now you remind me of Tal Farlow watching your fingers."
Nice.
Well, that's Ilkin Denise, is an old friend of mine. Hey, Ilkin. So yeah, the deal with this guitar is it obviously has more than a normal amount of strings. I think there are a few county ordinances about how many strings you can have, and I may be violating a couple of them. But
Probably.
Anyway, it's a regular guitar tuning in the middle. So anybody out there that's a guitar player, you'll recognize this sound. Just the open strings of a 6-string guitar. And I just have 2 extra strings, one low string down here, the big string, and then one extra high string, this little skinny string. And they just extend the range of the guitar a little bit. And I was inspired to have that guitar built because there's a couple of different guitar players that are big heroes of mine. There's a guy named Lenny Bro who has actually lived most of his life in Canada, or at least the early part of his life he lived there. People think of him as being from Canada. And he was a real pioneer of guitar, and Bill Evans, the pianist, was his big hero, and he was able to almost kind of sound like Bill Evans on guitar. And one of the things that he did is he had a 7-string guitar built with a extra high string on it. And so at one point, when I was back in my 20s, I thought it'd be really cool to have a guitar like that. And I was just going to buy a 7-string and tune it like that. And I realized just because of physics, you can't do that. You can't tune a string up to all the way up to that high note on a regular guitar because it's too long and the string will just break.
Right.
So I realized I was going to have a custom guitar built that was shorter. And I figured as long as I got a blank canvas, why not just do something in addition to the high string on top? Because there's another guitar player that was a hero of mine named George Van Epps, who used a low string on a guitar that was 7-string. So I was like, I'll just kind of mash them up together and make a Lenny Bro George Van Epps guitar. And I mentioned Bill Evans before. He's always been one of my biggest heroes, and I love piano. I mean, from Keith Jarrett to Herbie Hancock to Art Tatum, Bud Powell to Brad Meldau, you know, all those guys are some of my favorite musicians and biggest influences. So I think that's probably a lot of it. Is I've just always been so jealous of all the cool stuff you can do on piano, and I feel like I've got like maybe 2% more of that now.
Right. Do you remember you saying though that it has been a task?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I mentioned, I always do this when I'm teaching to reassure students, because they'll see all the strings. Oh man, how am I going to be able to tell what you're doing? And I say, hey, listen, it's just, regular guitar, and then there's a couple of extra strings. But yeah, when I got the guitar, it was almost like learning a whole new instrument, especially that high string on top, because it messes with your head. You're used to, the way you hold your hand on the neck and the strings being in a certain spot, and all of a sudden it's not there. So it was like starting from scratch in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you feel like when you're writing, especially like this last recording, that you're writing for the guys in your band?
Absolutely. Yeah. As a matter of fact, one of the things that, when we first talked about doing this show, I was like, oh, this will be really cool. It'll be fun, whatever. And then all of a sudden I thought, what am I going to do? Because like the last time I was on here, I just played solo guitar, and I realized there's not a single song on that record that I could really pull off solo guitar.
Right.
Because they're all written with this instrumentation in mind, but also these guys in mind.
Sure.
Especially Dave. I mean, I feel like, having gotten to know him over the years and playing with him a lot.
Isn't he?
Yeah, he's very
special.
I'm sorry. Throwback.
But, I almost feel like not only could I not play these tunes without a saxophone, I feel like I couldn't play these tunes without Dave almost.
Right.
And I kind of feel the same way about Rodolfo too. I feel like my way of writing has kind of evolved through knowing both of these guys. And not to leave Eric out, but
But he ditched us.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No.
I think he's playing Angry Birds now or something.
Are you going to let him get away with that, Eric?
I don't know. I thought for a second maybe I wasn't here.
Oh,
Listen, in my mind, you're the only one that is here. There you go. On that topic of writing for the guys, I've heard that like people like Wayne Shorter, for instance, his writing is very detailed, very meticulous. Basically, everything is written out. This is what I've heard. May or may not be true. But I'm wondering, so are your things more sketches where you'll leave it open for them to create their parts?
I would say it's probably some of both. I remember when I first used to play with Rodolfo, bringing him some tunes, and I had like written out meticulously the drum part, and him kind of taking me aside. You don't really need to do all that. You can
Good work, Rodolfo.
Yeah.
Well done.
He still kind of does it a little bit.
Yeah, he is so thorough. He is so thorough. Like even in the emails are perfectly worded. He's so organized. There was one track he had where he simulated a rubato, and so the bar was like 1638. What was it, Tom? Like you broke down the metronome to simulate and didn't tell me. So I'm trying to match, the click to the parts, and he's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I was simulating a metronome." I don't know how he did it, but
No.
it's so meticulous.
You're giving me way too much credit. I didn't do that. Sibelius does it that way. If you you write something in Sibelius and you write a fermata, which is like a pause, Sibelius when you export that, Sibelius kind of makes it into whatever it thinks it should be, and so that's you end up with like a bar of 5/16 or a bar, whatever, just to make an extra little pause in there. And I sent it to Dave and completely forgot to warn him about that.
Nicely done. And so Rodolfo, clearly you weren't a fan of that. Eric, does it matter to you one way or the other if you got a detailed part, or would you rather create?
Well, I would say it's nicer to create, but sometimes if the whole ensemble is such an intricate thing where it really needs to be specific, I understand that. There's some things there's been some things I've been involved in where it kind of needs to be what it is, but
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I think most of the bass parts for these tunes are generally written out, but I usually write like, feel free to do your own thing with this or whatever.
But do you mean it?
Yeah, it's more like one of those, like, what do they say, like simile things or whatever. It's like, this is the idea, but you don't have to
Yeah, because as much as I might know, have a clear idea of what I know or what I have in mind, Eric's been playing bass his whole life. He's gonna know much better than I am whether something's gonna work or not, and he'll change it around a little bit or add something to it. There was things on the album that I noticed where like he would play something that I hadn't written. I was like, oh, that was perfect. I wish I'd written that.
Yep.
It is
you need
funny.
to write the whole chart for Eric though. If you put a double coda, oh man. I got it. I got that wrath one time. Yeah, you see, he knows.
You mean all written out? Like 4 pages,
yes.
you mean?
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, God forbid you have to skip around, repeat, and take a sign.
We can't. The thing is, we can't stop playing, right, Nick?
I know.
We gotta keep playing. So we can't take our hand.
Bass.
If we stop playing, everybody looks. Well, what'd you do? I turned the page.
Man, that's guitar player's dirty little secret. I'm like one of the only instruments that if I drop out, nobody notices. Mm-hmm. So I always tell that to my students. Well, I'm revealing this trade secret that I probably shouldn't, but I say. The bass players and drummers, they've got so much responsibility, and we're just always kind of riding on their coattails, and we can. Somebody calls the tune, do you know such and such? Yeah, I know it. And then you just listen to the bass player and kind of figure it out as you're going. The bass players can't do that.
Right. Okay, show of hands. Which? Well, not show of hands. Let's just vote right here. Defenestration, Experimental Disorder, or Hurricane Song, or there's a really short one called Phosphines, I guess. Which one shall we do?
I'd say experimental.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
Experimental Disorder. Do we want to?
I need to know. Did you write this with Dave in mind?
Of course. Isn't it pretty obvious?
Okay, we're going to listen to Experimental Disorder, and then we're going to dissect it and find out what was really behind it all.
No idea.
Best video ever.
For those of you, choreography by David Fernandez. Yeah, for those of you who don't know Dancing Dave, that was Dancing Dave Fernandez.
Look at Eric's face. It's a whole new meaning of the tip jar now.
Yeah, I mean, you need to send in double donations for that Dancing Dave bit. I thought it was great with Richard Simmons, but I had no idea we were going to get Dancing Dave in there. Oh my God.
I thought it kind of bookended it at the beginning and then the end, you know?
Yeah, the gay dancing.
Very well done.
You gotta bring back the mustache, Dave. That was amazing.
You know what would be amazing is, you have it out as a digital download, but you need to go the Beyonce route, like her Lemonade, and do the whole video digital download. So it's just like a whole.
Let's not do that.
Video CD, yeah. No, it would be awesome.
It's not a bad idea.
All of the videos are fantastic, Tom.
They're
thanks.
so cool.
Incidentally, I do have to give Dave credit for the opening sequence. That was his. He did that video originally. He sent it to us and was like, "Here, what do you think of this for the video?" But it was only the first 30 seconds of the tune.
Right.
And then when I went to make the video for this, I was like, "Well, I got to use that, of course."
Right.
Well, what made you think of Richard Simmons?
Me?
I make these videos for them with their songs. They're just kind of spoofs that I put on my funny YouTube channel.
Okay.
Like I have one of RZ's songs called "At the Peak," and it's eye surgery, like somebody's removing a penetrating hook. And so I underscore the videos with their songs. And
oh my god!
And I did one with Aaron Lebos. He had a song called "Cha Cha," I think it was called. And so I put the arrival of the Pope, and I underscored it with Aaron Lebos, and he wasn't amused. so of course,
who wasn't amused? The Pope?
Both. so of course, it just gives you more fuel to keep going. So I sent it to Tom, and he never answered. So I figured, oh, he's really mad. And then I see this video, and then he puts Dancing Dave just to go ahead and stick the dagger in.
Yep. I had to twist a couple of times.
Dave, what year was that? 19 something?
That's 2001 when my wife was pregnant with my first son. So we bought a camcorder.
Eric, you haven't seen the video?
No.
I kind of remember. Well, not this one, but maybe
the
that
Dancing
clip.
Dave one.
Maybe.
Music that he's dancing to, and that is "Be My Guest."
Right. Oh, wow.
The Disney tune.
I was just trying out that camera, and my wife peeks out from the bathroom.
That's the best part of the video, when she peeks out and she's like, "No thanks."
I made a baby with this guy.
Yeah, because I was wearing her maternity clothes too, so she was.
Wow.
Oh man.
I know.
Dave Fernandez, everyone. Dave Fernandez.
Never a dull moment.
Mm-hmm.
There's a sequel to that too with Nikki out there. One day we'll have to show that.
Oh, the gig.
Oh, the gig we did, yeah.
Yeah.
So crazy.
Dave always takes it just a little bit far. We were doing a gig with, and this lady was, he started doing a little bit of his dancing, and she's like, don't, stop doing that. So of course he did it more. He doubled down and tripled.
Oh my gosh!
I think SNL needs to hire Dave as a writer at least.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
No joke.
Yeah.
Tom,
hear me now.
Yeah. The song "Phosphines."
Mm-hmm.
It seems to be a very unique one on the record.
Well, that's just me making all my weird noises with effects. I had to do something on there that was that, because I realized after we had done all the tunes, I was like, I don't have anything of me making weird noises with effects pedals, so I got to do something.
Right. Well, we know that's what everybody has been waiting for tonight. So
Right.
let's give them what they came for.
All right. That was it.
I like it. Now, I've seen you work your pedals. Was that just...
Wow.
Even that, Wendy?
Is that what we're calling it now?
Yeah, amazing.
Pedals.
Oh, man.
It's incredible.
Was that multi-tracking, or was that just you with...
I think there were two different tracks. What I did is I improvised something, and then I was like, I kind of need something else. And that little fairy dust stuff at the beginning was a second track that I added later.
Okay.
So, and if anybody is wondering, phosphenes is the little, when you close your eyes and you see the little flashing lights.
Oh.
And I
I
meditate.
went all Greek with it. I went phosphenes. I figured it was totally a Greek thing. But
Like a god.
Phosphenes, yeah.
yeah, whatever.
So
Phosphenes are what?
it's just, it was, I think of that because I meditate when I have my eyes closed, I see those things. And so it kind of reminded me of that.
So the song came to you in a meditation? Is that what
Yeah,
it's like?
for sure.
Well, since that was so short, and somebody, I think Derek, was it before that had when we were asking which song to play, he very enthusiastically, let me see if I can find it.
Oh yeah, that was Derek Cordoba. I saw that.
Yeah.
You went too far.
Did I go too far?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that
Brit-
what's new? Here was his response.
Yes, hurricane song.
Oh, yes.
So
So-
I think we should go right into that.
Is this literally about a hurricane? Is this
Kind of. The story on this one was I was working on this song when Hurricane, I think it was Irma, was bearing down on us. And I was basically rushing to try to get the song finished before the power went out, and I couldn't, because I was writing it on my computer. And then as soon as the hurricane was over with, the first gig that I did back was actually with Rodolfo and Dave.
At the corner, right?
At the corner, right. And I brought that tune in.
Song, yeah. I remember the first time we played it, yeah.
Yeah. And it was so cool to play. It's probably like what it's going to be like after this thing's over, except in miniature.
right?
It was just no electricity, and everybody was worrying about the hurricane. It was so nice to get back to playing and everything. So anyway, that's the story of that song.
Well, here it is. Let's listen.
go, Eric. Yeah. Very, very interesting.
Really nice. You are going to get sued for all of it. You just go online and find.
Well, actually, there's this site called the Internet Archives, and supposedly all the videos up there are public domain.
Okay, good.
Like the movies that are up there are all
Right.
old movies that are out of copyright, or in the case of one of them that we haven't shown yet, they're movies from the 60s that through some mistake of the people that made them actually never got copyrighted.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So screw them.
So yeah.
Hey, no electric bass on this recording? I know that Eric is a great doubler, and he sounds fantastic on electric
Yeah,
as
I
well.
kind of left it up to him. I mean, we never even talked about it actually, Eric. I was kind of like, if you hear electric, then maybe you'll play it, and if you don't, you won't. So
Yeah, I guess I didn't.
That's that then. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Which did you start on, though?
I started on electric bass. Yeah,
Okay.
electric. Yeah.
And how
And
far
then
into that were you before you moved to?
I started playing upright when I was a freshman in high school. Yeah.
Where did you go to high school?
In New Jersey.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We used to do those jazz competitions with the big bands when you would
Yeah.
go around to the other high schools. And I used to see this guy named Adam Blackstone, who has since become like the top MD in like the R&B pop world, actually.
Oh.
Like everyone and their mama is like Justin Timberlake's MD, like everybody. So anyway, he was the first guy I was seeing. He was a senior, I was a freshman, and he was playing both basses, and I was like, and they would always do like, the standard swing song and then blah, blah, blah. And then they would end with like Bob Mintzer, like Computer or something. So he would bring out the electric, and I was like, that's it. That's the vibe. So
Girls love that.
yeah, sure. Something like
Ooh,
that.
doubler.
A man who doubles. That's all.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
So what are you guys looking forward to in 2021? And gig-wise, I'm sure that we're all looking for the same, end of this pandemic. I know that. But what would you hope to be doing?
I guess I really don't know what to expect, but I guess I'm holding out hope that if and when things do finally get back to normal, people are going to be just so tired of being cooped up and the only music they can see is online and all that stuff that they're just going to be hungry for live music, and
Right.
and there's going to be this huge boom of live music. I think it remains to be seen whether that will actually happen
Right.
or not, but
Or because the other fear is that people are so used to staying home that they don't want to go out.
Yeah.
They bring everything inside.
I'm if I had to gamble on it, I'm thinking the former. I think people are just as cool as it, like you guys have mentioned, that there has been a surge of creativity and people have developed new skills and have found that they have other interests. But I think that, well, now really it's hard to keep people in, which
Yeah.
is one of the problems, So I think when it is safe, I think it's just going to be a free for all. We might even be working.
well, I know Eric and Nikki will be working. You guys are bass players.
There you go.
I might not
Well-
after that video. that we put up.
or maybe a
This
new
might be the
career.
end of me.
Maybe a new career for you,
Right.
Dave.
Well,
Dancing Dave.
Now I
That's
know
right.
Rodolfo, you're teaching, right? So is that's still online? I'm imagining.
Yeah, for the most part. I mean, slowly kind of coming back to in person, at least for ensembles, which is needed.
Yeah.
And happy that's still going on, and there's some enrollment, and of course it's hard for the students, but they're keeping at it, and we've all learned some new skills with that for sure as teachers.
Yes.
I know all of us do it, so I'm really happy that that's still going on. But miss playing, miss
Yeah.
traveling and touring and all that.
I miss the vibing.
Yeah.
All the vibes,
Right.
the necks that we stepped on to get to where we've been, the politics. We're all at zero now. Everybody's all leveled right now. Oh,
Right.
Oh my
the
God.
lies we had to ruin to get to where we are.
Exactly.
I kid.
Exactly. All the little people we stepped on. Exactly.
To bring us to this spot.
Yeah. Well, I'm a chick singer. I'm a chick singer, so it has to be all the people I had to sleep with to get to the
Yes!
to like the lower middle.
It's all for nothing.
All for nothing.
Anyway,
I clawed my way up to the lower middle tier. You know?
Yeah.
it has been so much fun. Listening to the music. It is spectacular. I think
Yeah,
it's
Tom, geez, I forgot how good these tunes were, Tom.
You're amazing, Tom. Really incredible.
Really, you're the best, man. Wow.
Well,
in fact, I think you should just go through your sheets of music that I'm sure are just all over the place, and we still have time. Things aren't going to be really, really opened up until the latter part of the year.
You can make 10 months later. That could be your next.
That's
next
it.
CD.
Start working on it.
But seriously, because honestly, the videos are just really fantastic. I mean, the whole digital video release could be an interesting thing.
Come to think of it, I mean, Rodolfo, I think you need to step up your video stuff because we had some Dave productions, we had some Tom, and we had some Eric.
Right. There you go.
I know, yeah.
No pressure.
He's got videos.
He's got
yeah.
it. He's got
got
it.
some.
He
Okay,
did
I'll
a
go to the
few
next
for
show.
that land project. Like, I couldn't
Okay.
do that whole thing. He did about half of those.
Okay.
Oh, I take it back. So
And then-
you're the actual pro here.
Yeah, kind of is. Yeah.
I've been doing a bunch for FIU.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
All the departments, all the students this last semester. So I've gotten to, for better or for worse, get good at that stuff as well.
Right.
Good.
Yeah.
On his website, you can see him play to these tracks also, and you can download and play along to
Right.
it. So,
Oh yeah, yeah.
all
For the
Yeah.
for the students, yeah, for the drum
Yeah.
students. Actually,
I think that's a really
tracks-
cool idea.
super
Yeah,
cool.
tracks from Dave and Tom recordings
Yeah,
as well as some of my records.
Right. So
Oh,
you
that's
can
great.
actually, I think, right, you have the actual video of when you were recording those tracks, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
actually recorded video while I was doing that, so the students can see
Right.
the tracking process.
The
I
AC
guess.
broke down when he was doing that. He took his shirt off.
Ooh.
Where he's playing.
Oh, I thought he was
shirtless.
channeling Duffy Jackson.
Duffy, that's right.
Duffy, that was a great show, guys, by the way.
That
And
was
the
fun.
Christmas one, too. That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We
Love the
aim to
Christmas show.
please.
Oh my goodness. Well, listen, I wanted to say once again that to find this new record, go to tomlippincott.com and you can download it and have it for your very own. Maybe if you reach out to him, Tom will take a little piece of like a stick-em. You know, what are those called?
Sticky notes.
Yeah,
right?
a sticky note.
Post-it.
A post-it.
That's it.
A post-it, and he can sign it for you, and then
Yeah.
send it to you via mail or something,
I
so you can have an
actually did-
autograph.
Yeah, I actually did make, just like burned copies of CDs for a couple people because they're like, no, I only want a hard copy
Right.
CD.
You know,
I don't
I'm
need any.
I've always said it. I'm in that
Yeah,
camp.
he
I
loves-
like the physical CD.
Yeah,
It's just something about it.
yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Plus, you get to see, who's on it and who did what, and that whole
Right.
thing, which is nice. So like I said, tomlippincott.com for the download. Think about the digital video thing because I really think they're fantastic. And
let's do
also,
this one more
let's do
time.
the if you can, please send some love to Tom and thank him for a great show and a great night. We will go to the other thing. This is the wrong thing, Nikki Orta.
That is the wrong thing, isn't
It
it?
is the wrong thing, but this is the right thing. So go, please support our musicians. This is one of the ways
Been
that
told.
that we can keep the music alive and our musicians fed and happy and thriving. Text the word tip jar to the number 44321. The first $100 will be matched. And so it can feel like a regular gig where he gets paid and gets to take home some bread. So we really appreciate if you could do that for us. And let's close the night with the last video. Do you want to talk about what defenestration means? It sounds awful.
I put that on.
It sounds awful.
Before I get into that, I just want to say thanks to Nikki and Wendy. I want to say thanks to you guys for doing this. And for doing all these. This is so cool that you've done this through this whole pandemic. It's really, helped keep the jazz community together in South Florida. It's just been a great thing. And also a huge thank you to these three guys. You know, the record wouldn't have been what it was without the three of you. I mean, you know, I literally mean that. It wouldn't have happened without you guys. Right. And Eric, you did such an amazing job with the mixing and mastering too.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds fantastic.
Yeah, man, you brought everything to life, man, for real.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Yeah.
I was actually, you know, when we listened to the Hurricane, when, you know, that whole section where it does, you know, retard, I'm amazed that you all could do that, you know, not in the same room, looking at each other and feeling what was happening. I mean, that is incredible.
Yeah, I guess that did take a little bit of planning, you know, deciding ahead of time how long the pause was going to be. But it was really just, you know, we were playing together. It's just that the interaction was one way instead of two way. That's the only thing.
Right.
But actually, one thing that I did want to mention too is the order that we recorded it in was totally by chance. But I recorded first, then Dave, then Rodolfo, then Eric, and it seemed that seemed about the best way to do it, because Rodolfo was able to interact with Dave and I when we were soloing, and then Eric was able to interact with what Rodolfo played, and I think that was one of the things that really made it work, and that was totally by chance.
Which was different from Dave's recording, which was Dave. I think it was Dave first, and then it was me.
Right?
Yeah, not always though. There were some things that Dave, and then me, and then you. But
right.
Well, when you were putting it down, you put it down to a click, and
yeah, that is one limitation of doing it this way. Is everything we did was to a click, so we couldn't just, you know, count off the tune and play like you can when you're in the same room.
Right.
Okay, so as far as defenestration, the other thing is this also features a fifth band member who did an amazing job and really, I think, made this tune, and that's Caroline Buse, who played both viola and violin.
Oh, cool.
She played on a bunch of Dave's tunes on Land, and that's what gave me the idea to use her on this one. And anyway, the word defenestration just means to be thrown out of a window.
Have you used that in a conversation?
I try to work it in whenever I can.
Exactly.
With me.
Yeah. I think after I put Dance and Dave in that video, there might be a defenestration in my future.
Very cool.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, let's hear defenestration, and thanks guys so much.
Thank you.
The record is beautiful. The videos are fantastic, and I can't wait to see you guys live after all of this is over. That's going to be like the cherry on the cake.
I'm telling you, we may be so excited to play live that Eric may even fly back.
Eric's
If
like,
not-
don't hold your breath.
If not, maybe you can get a call. You can get a gig. There you go.
Oh yeah, because my upright chops. Woo! Actually, right now my electric chops. Woo! All right, so anyway, guys, thank you so much for being part of the show, and we will hopefully run into each other in better times, which might be real soon.
TomLippincott.com. Thank you so much.
Good night, guys. Oh yeah.
So good. That was Tom Lippincott and his record 10 years. 20 years later. Sorry.
Yes.
And it's just fantastic. So you can find it at tomlippincott.com. It really is so beautiful.
That was
All of those
amazing
guys
stuff.
played just amazingly. Once again, you have we've reached the end of our night, the first Monday night of January. I feel like it was a really great start.
It couldn't have been better.
So it's going to be a good year. I just know it. Damn it. So want to thank our partners in crime, everybody who helps make this possible, and we are so grateful for the Gold Coast Jazz Society, who does amazing concert series every single year, helps with jazz education. You can find out everything that they do on their website, goldcoastjazz.org. They're just a fantastic organization, and we're really thrilled to be working with them, as well as the Sunshine Jazz Organization, the old SJO. Again, they do so much for the community and so much for the musicians, and we love them so much. So go to their website and check them out and see what all is going on. Sunshinejazz.org. And of course, the Miami Jazz Co-op at miamijazz.org. We are hoping to maybe get started with some live outdoor concerts, hopefully coming up within the next, a couple months. That's
Fingers
in the
crossed.
works. Fingers crossed. And also wanted to do a big plug for the South Florida Jazz. Their website is southfloridajazz.org, and they are coming up on a fantastic virtual concert series. And they really always do fantastic stuff. But the stuff that's going on is the very next thing is John Diversa Quintet. Quarantina, I guess is what it's going to be. Jazz at home with family at home. And that's going to feature Gonzalo Rubalcaba, Carlo De Rosa, Daphnis Prieto, and Sammy Figueroa. And that's going to happen Saturday, January 16th at 8 p.m. It's a live stream performance from Gusman Hall at University of Miami. For tickets and details, you got to go to their website, though. So you're going to want to go to southfloridajazz.org. Other concerts that are going to be coming up in February, the Joe Locke Quartet. In March, Dan Tepfer, solo piano, Bach to the Future. And in April, the David Kikoski Quartet. So you find all the information, southfloridajazz.org. We thank our partners. We want to let you know that next week, in preparation for the John Diversa virtual concert, we will be featuring John Diversa, the 3-time Grammy winner. And that should be a lot of fun. We're getting a lot of videos and pictures coming in, and we're looking forward to talking to John about what he's been doing and what's going on. After that, it feels like it's going to be, Brazilian January,
Right.
because we've got Phil Fest, and we're going to kind of be featuring his brand new record. He's a fantastic Brazilian guitarist, and he has a brand new CD out. Then following them, one of my favorite duos, Rose and Ramachis, doing Rose Max and Ramachis doing their Brazilian thing, and they're always fantastic and such beautiful people. And that's just going to be January, and that's...
Then we'll be right into the second month of the year.
Good Lord!
Before we know it.
Yes, time does go by fast. So thank you so much for hanging with us, and thanks to Tom and his band of daring doers.
I was going to say Merry Misfits.
Oh, that's good. Daring Doers and Merry Misfits. That could be the name of their crew. Anyway, thank you so much. Have a fantastic week and stay safe.
Good night.